Liquid-CNT hybrid materials and their application for the catalytic reactions. So first I'd like to start a brief introduction of our researches. Our research mainly focus on the catalysis. For the homogeneous catalysis, we design some catalytic apply for the asymmetric catalysis to get the color compound. In this case, it is very hard to recover and reuse of the catalyst. To solve these problems, we're also interested in the immobilization of the catalyst to the solid material or polymers, or sometimes we use the ionic liquid to immobilize the catalyst. And then recently we do some tandem catalytic reactions on the several catalytic reactions carried out in one steps. The other part is combine the ionic liquid with the nanomaterials to get this ionic liquid and hybrid materials. Today I'm talking about this part mostly, and also briefly introduce a little bit about the immobilization of the catalyst using the ionic liquid. So our experience on the catalysis in ionic liquid started about 10 years ago. At that time, we carried out several catalytic reactions in ionic liquid to recycle the catalyst, to immobilize the catalyst in the ionic liquid. During these studies, we found out some of the catalytic reactions how they accelerate when the catalysis carried out in ionic liquid. The so-called, this is a positive ionic liquid effect in the catalysis. When you carry out the catalytic reactions in ionic liquid, some of the reaction rates are pretty much accelerated, or sometimes the selectivity, like linear selectivity and enhancer selectivities are increased. Moreover, some of the catalysts are stabilized in the ionic liquid. So quite recently, we accounted the origin of this positive ionic effect on the catalytic reactions in the account of chemical researches. So during those studies, we learned about the property of the ionic liquid in the first speaker, Mark, introduced the property of the ionic liquid already. So the major property of the ionic liquid is the tunable property. The hydrophilicity and the hydrophobicity are easily tuned by simply exchange this anion, the hydrophilic anion to the hydrophobic anion. The property of the ionic liquid changed. So we thought if it may be possible to transfer all this tunable property, anion-directed tunable property, to the surface science. So if we put in some imidazole molecule on the solid surface, the surface property will be easily changed simply by exchanging the anions. For example, we first made some monolayers, and with the hydrophilic anions, if we change to the hydrophobic anions, the surface of the gold surface became the hydrophobics. So sometimes the electron transferring is also affected by the anions. This is ferricyanide case. There is an electron transfer between this electrode and the electrolyte. But if the anion was changed to the thioisocyanate, there is no electron transfer here. So we can control the surface property simply variation of the anions. Then we thought we can apply this tunable properties of ionic liquid to the nanomaterials. Ionic liquid has very unique properties, like high ionic conductivity and high thermal stability, as well as chemical stability. And also, they are very stable and electrochemically. And also, we can tune the property of this material simply changing the structure of the ionic liquid. And also, the nanomaterial, like the CNT or nanodiamonds, they are very high mechanical strength and also have high surface area volumes. They have very high conductivities. But the problem is processability of this material because they are very low solubility and dispersity in the solvent systems. So we thought if we combine these two materials, we can make some new ionic nanomaterials. And then the property of this material can be tuned, simply control the structure of the imidazole moieties. Then we can use this material to the support material for the nanocatalyst, and also some support material for the catalytic active materials, catalytic catalyst for the nanocatalyst. In that cases, we can use this nanocatalyst for the several applications like a pure cell catalyst, and also the chemical reactions. Another advantage is to these ionic carbon nanomaterials cases, the nanocatalyst, the position of nanocatalyst could be very easy, and also the stability of the catalyst would be increased, and also catalytic efficiency will be increased. That's we start with this idea. We start to combine this liquid with the CNT. The first paper on the combination of the liquid with the CNT appeared in Science 2003, Professor Ida in Tokyo University. And in his research, they simply combined these two CNT and liquid and grind mechanically mixed it together to get the gel systems. And then they applied, this is called buckets, applied electronics, capacitors, or actuators. But the problem is to increase the mechanical strength, and they put this the polymer component. But the limitation is the maximum contents of the liquid is less than 9%. And also, between this polyimidazolium, ionic polymer and the CNT are not covalently bonded. It is segregate. If we mix the component, they are separated in certain cases. So we thought if we combine this imidazolium molecule with CNT with a covalent bond, probably the solubility of the CNT could be controlled by the anion exchange. Also, the CNT would be soluble in ion liquid, and that can be used this material this material can be used as support material for the nanocatalyst. To this one, we initially developed some method to covalent functionalization of the CNT with imidazolium moieties. First, the oxidizers or carboxylates to convert to the acid chloride, simply treatment to cyanide chloride, and then back to it commercially available 3-aminopropyl imidazoles to make this amide bonded imidazoles. Then make the metathesis to get this imidazolium salt. But in this case, we have to use the cyanide chloride. This is generate HCl. And the small scale is okay, but but for the large scale, it caused some problems. So we developed another method to put this catalytic in the presence of catalytic acid. We first made the ester and then transamination get this compound. And also this can carry out in one steps. The carboxylate functionalized CNT was mixed with the 3-aminopropyl imidazoles in the presence of methyl sulfuric acid. In methanol solution, reflux 48 hours because this imidazole functionalized CNT, and then doing the metathesis to get this imidazolium salt functionalized CNTs. And once we get this one, then the property of this ionic CNT can be easily tuned by the simple anion exchange. And the ionic CNT having the hydroxylic bromide anion is well dispersed in the water. And then if we put this lithium and triplet anion exchange, and then give the hydrophobic anions, it precipitate. It is not soluble, dispersed in the waters. And then the solvent dispersed in organic solvent was increased because this is hydrophobic systems. We put the chloroforms at the CNT dispersed in chloroform layers. But these moieties has propensity dispersed in the ionic liquid. If we put in some ionic liquid, these are well dispersed in ionic layers. So we can control dispersity simply by variation of the anion of these ionic CNTs. Then we are interested in to utilize the ionic CNT as support material for the nanoparticle catalyst, because the CNT supported nanoparticle catalysts are very active for the chemical reaction as well as for the electrocatalyst for pure cell, and also sometimes utilize the hydrogen sensing. The known method for this CNT supported particle is because the low solubility of the CNT, it requires harsh reaction conditions to immobilize or deposit metal particles into the CNT. Even though recently it has been developed the water in oil microemulsion method, in this case, large amount of the surfactant is necessary. Also, because of the low solubility of the CNT, the nanoparticles are easily elevated and lost their catalytic activities. So we thought if we use this ionic CNT, probably this moiety could act as a surfactant. So we may not necessarily use the surfactant. And also, these are because of the hydrophilicity, it is very well dispersed in water. In that case, we can use water-soluble metal precursors could be utilized. Another one is for the anion exchange, simply anion exchange can change the bulk property of these systems. And then these ionic CNT metal nanoparticles could be soluble or dispersible in the ion liquid. And also, the supported metal nanoparticles, the stability of the supported metal could be increased because there is some report in the metal nanoparticles in our liquid, the stabilities are highly increased. So with this idea, first we made some palladium nanoparticles, deposited the palladium nanoparticles onto the ionic CNTs under very mild conditions. These are well dispersed in water. The water-soluble sodium palladium reduced in 1 atm of hydrogen pressure at room temperature 1 hour is enough to get this CNT supported palladium nanoparticles. The images gives where the metal nanoparticles are well decorated onto the CNT surfaces, and ICP analysis indicated maximum over 50% weight percent palladiums are deposited onto this CNTs. XPX analysis, XRD analysis clearly indicate this metal particle has good crystallinities. When you use this hydrophobic ionic CNT, it is very hard to get this supported CNTs. Only the certain CNT, the palladium particles are mobilized onto the certain CNT, not whole CNTs. This is because of the low solubility of this hydrophobic ionic CNT into the waters, and then they are aggregating each other. So to get this hydrophobic CNTs supported particles, we simply exchange this bromide with to an triplet. So in this case, without any change of the size and morphologies, the simply anion was changed. Now we get this hydrophobic palladium CNT composition. You can see here, these are the solubility or dispersities can easily be tuned by simply variation of these anions. with the hydrophilic anions, these are very well dispersed in water. With the hydrophobic anions, these are not dispersed in water, but it was dispersed in methanol or ionic liquid. So you can control the dispersing of this CNT metal nanoparticle composite, simply variation of these anions. Then we apply this to the hydrogenation of carbon-carbon-carbon bond as a model studies. It found out the activity was quite high. So this double bond was easily reduced within 10 minutes, in two-phase systems using the isopropanol and the BMI SPF6 and 100% convergence. And then we can utilize, recover, this is two-phase reactions. After separation isopropanol layers and then the ion liquid layer. In the ion liquid layer, the catalyst was dispersed in the ion liquid layer. We can reuse that one. And then we use the almost 50 times. After 50 times we use, the catalytic activity was a little bit start to decrease. So to get the origin of this loss of catalytic activity, this is 10 energies. We took the 10 analysis. Before doing the catalytic reactions, this is 10 energies. After 50 cycles, some of the palladium particles start to gather. That means the palladium particles are aggregated upon reusing. After 51 cycles, many of them were gathering together. So, but anyway, this is the first examples to using the ionic CNT palladium particles together and then give very high catalytic activities. Now our interest moved to utilize the ionic CNT supported palladium metal particles onto the pure cells, because the pure cell is one of the green or very important energy source in recent years. Many people are working here. So our idea was that for the pure cell catalytic reactions, oxygen reduction is one of the key reactions. And here, the oxygen, this reduction rate could be affected by the structure of this imidazolium moieties. But there is no studies how these structures affect this on these electrocatalytic activities. Maybe we expected this counter-anion influenced the electrocatalytic activity of these supported palladium particles. So most of this catalyst for these oxygen reactions has been used as platinum carbon blacks, but this is too expensive and slow polar kinetics. So to replace this platinum, to a number of other metal catalysts are recently doing these studies. Actually, there is some report on the utilization of this ionic CNT supported metal nanoparticle. This is gold nanoparticles. This gold nanoparticle was supported onto this imidazolium functional CNT and then applied for the oxygen reduction reaction to the development of the pure cell catalyst. And also another report from the China, it was polymeric imidazolium moieties. The CNT was combined with polymeric imidazolium moiety and then deposit the platinum particles on this ionic CNT and then applied for the pure cell catalytic activities. But there is no studies on the structure-based influence of the polar activities. So we thought if you make this compound, the imidazolium moieties, probably the oxygen first to get the electron from the electrode to get this oxygen radical anions, which will be stabilized by this acidic method through the horizontal bonding. So we already got this information. And also in the acidic electrolyte, the protons probably probably close to this proximity to the hydrogen bonding, and then overall the electron reduction rate would be accelerated. So in this case, the anion would be dramatically influence total electrocatalytic activity of this CNT metal, ionic CNT metal component. So we synthesize this one and first make this polymerizable aluminum salt functional CNT and polymerized, and then anion is changed. And first, and then we added the palladiums in the hydrophilic halide and counter anions. And then halide anion was exchanged to the hydrophobic different counter anions to get this polyionic CNT, polyionic liquid functionalized CNT supported palladium nanoparticles with a different counter anions. And then we carried out electrochemical studies. Actually, this has been done by the Professor Jong-Mong Lee in our department, and find out that these counter anions are dramatically influenced on the catalytic activities. So this is carried out oxygen reduction reaction in the acidic solution using the HCl solutions. You can see here, this is chloride anion. This if the slope is if this slope is sharp, it means this is catalytic activity is good. So this chloride shows the highest electrocatalytic activities compared to other counter anions. The other studies also indicate chloride anions shows the highest electrocatalytic activity. The second is chlorate, and then BF4, bromide and PF6 are more or less the same, but the iodide is quite low catalytic activity. This means the electrocatalytic activities are largely influenced by the counter anion or the imidazolium moieties. But in basic solutions, there is no differences. There is no differences. All the palladium nanoparticles supported onto ionic CNT having different halide counter anions give the same electrocatalytic activities. To figure out why is this the case, we after first screening, and then we utilize that the electrode in the acidic solution, and then it has been found upon recycling of this electrode, it eventually became the ClO4 counter anion catalytic activities. So in molecular way, we can rationalize the halide counter anion in the basic solutions, anion exchange to get this hydroxide anion moieties. So there is no differences. They give the same electrocatalytic activities. And then, when you carried out this acidic solutions, some of the hydroxide counter anions slowly converging to this ClO4 counter anions. That is the reason why when we use this electrode in HCl solutions, eventually became this having the same catalytic activities with the ClO4 anion materials. So we finally find out this is a molecular understanding of the electrocatalytic activities. And then in this case, we found that anionic change sometimes cause some problems. So to solve these problems, we designed derivative ionic forms. In this case, the anion and cations are bonded covalent. It is not possible to anion exchange. So to utilize this one, if we combine this derivative moieties onto the CNT, if we can make the metal nanoparticle having ionic property, like a citrate coated with golden nanoparticle, there will be these two cases. There is electrostatic interactions, and then this pre-synthesized golden nanoparticle can easily deposited on this Ionic functionalized CNT. But if we use this imidazolium halide Ionic CNT, there will be an ion exchange. There is sodium chloride exchange, and then the golden nanoparticle will become the bare state, and then they start to aggregation. So if we modify the structure of the imidazolium moiety, then we can develop some new method to deposit pre-synthesized metal nanoparticles onto the CNTs. To demonstrate this one, first we synthesize homopolymeric Ionic imidazolium sulfonate, and then homopolymeric imidazolium chloride salt. And then the golden nanoparticle coated with the citrate ions studied in solution behaviors. This is golden nanoparticles, this is UV spectrum. This is as prepared golden nanoparticle of sulfur metal is about 108. So when he added this Ionic polymers onto this gold solutions, there is no wavelength changes, but the intensity observance was slightly decreased. There is no color changes. But when he added the imidazolium chloride polymers into the gold solutions, the color was dramatically changed. This dramatically changed, and also the UV observance was shifted to the long wavelength. This means gold nanoparticle in solution start aggregation, as we expected. Then we conducted the same experiment with the CNT, Ionic CNT having the imidazolium sulfonate and imidazolium chloride. This is the first one, before addition of the CNT golden nanoparticle solutions. Now we added in here the carboxylic acid functional CNT. B is Ionic CNTs. C is imidazolium chloride functional CNTs. As we observed in the solution state, the color of these two Ionic cases, there is no change. Carboxylic acid also no change. But when you added the CNT, imidazolium chloride functional CNT, the color was dramatically changed to blue. And then after 1 hour, it starts to precipitate black precipitation, and with the blue color was here. And then after 5 hours, these two CNT, Ionic CNTs all the solution became clear. And then, but the carboxylic acid still there are some colors. All these results clearly indicate the gold citrate coated golden nanoparticles are well deposited onto this Ionic CNT, but in this imidazolium cases, it is not well deposited. They are aggregated to each other, and the carboxylic functionalized cases still there is no deposition onto the CNT surfaces. So to see the 10 image, this is carboxylic functional CNT golden nanoparticle solutions. There's a particle was large, aggregated, but many of them are the CNT are free. This is imidazolium chloride functionalized CNT cases. The golden nanoparticles are not deposited onto the CNT, but nearby the CNT, which means there's an ion exchange. This is 10 images of the Ionic sulfonate functionalized CNT, or golden nanoparticles are well decorated onto the CNT. This is 10 images. So this means the electrostatic attraction of the citrate-coated golden nanoparticles with the Ionic imidazolium functional CNTs. And then we carried out this, we checked the electrocatalytic activity of these golden nanoparticles. As you can see here, the C is golden nanoparticles are deposited on the Ionic CNT, shows very high electrocatalytic activity compared to other ones. This is a very high electrocatalytic activities that result in golden particle in oxygen reduction reactions. So after getting this result, we thought, why this imidazolium sulfonate gives a very high electrocatalytic activity? So we thought probably this imidazolium cations induce polarization of the pi electron of the CNTs and then create the positive charge which attract the electrons to the electrode very easily. So to demonstrate this hypothesis, we tested all these materials without metals. We tested electrocatalytic activities without metals. You can see here, very surprisingly, the sulfonate symptom functionality CNT shows very high electrocatalytic activities. Even not without CNT, the homopolymeric system also shows some electrocatalytic activities. This is the number of electron transfers of almost over 3 in acidic solution. In basic solution, this is a commercial PT. Without metals, it shows this amount of electrocatalytic activity. This means why the imidazolium molecules shows positive effects on the electrocatalytic activities. So this result, and also this gives a high selectivity, stabilities, maybe because of the time schedule. So based on this result, we thought imidazolium functionalized CNT or nanomaterials could have potential to be the metal-free electrocatalyst in the future through the variation of the imidazolium structures. But still, we don't know how we vary these moieties to increase the electrocatalytic activities. The next slide, we also combine this one to the nanodiamonds to get this the gels. This is final stage. And also we use the silicon nanoparticles modified this imidazolium molecules to capturing these particles synthesized by protection, and then simply grafting, and then added this one and this. And then catalytic activities has been tested by sticky reactions. Before doing the reactions, there is no evidence to get these particles, but after recycling, there is a palladium particle was appeared in the surface. And then we find out this analysis, the first reaction, palladium 2 and 0 are mixed, and then after recycling all this material, it's slowly gathering to eat the palladium 0 species to get the palladium nanoparticles. We got this information from the James experiment. But this is final slide probably. We have also modified the native nanoparticles and then added the palladium nanoparticle to utilize this magnetically separable catalytic system. So we use this 10 times. Okay. So finally, I have to thank to all my group members. Most of the works are done by this Juyeon Sin. She is going to be the graduate in next spring to get the PhD. So these are the other persons who are working in the area. Okay, thank you for your kind attention.